Live from the beautiful beach city of Netanya, Maccabi Media presents men's 35-plus basketball featuring Maccabi USA against Argentina. Hello, everyone. Here from Yeshurun Hall, Logan Schijano and Evan Oshowitz here to bring you a highly anticipated matchup, the first game of this men's 35-plus division. Evan, great to be here alongside you today. Men's 35-plus team for Maccabi USA has been practicing. They're ready for this moment. A lot of great players on this squad. What can you tell us?
Yes, Logan, the wait's finally over. It's time to commence this Masters 35-plus men's basketball tournament. And we've got a treat here with USA versus Argentina. The USA is fielding 6 players with collegiate or professional experience, including point guard Avi Fogel, number 12, who Coach Josh Kahane told us is the X factor for this team.
Fogel is our 76 Capital player to watch. What more can you tell us about number 12?
Well, he's got the most professional experience of any player on this team. He just officially retired from pro ball a year ago, and he's competing in his 4th Maccabiah. He won gold with the juniors, he won gold with the Open, and now he's trying to win gold with the Masters.
Well, the teams are in their huddles, but before we tip off, we're going to head down to the sidelines, and our sideline reporter, Brian Barth, has more.
Well, there's been a real sense of familiarity on this United States team as Kahane has actually played with 2 of the current teammates. He's had teammates with 2 of the current players on the team and also coached 3 years. So he said that knowing the nuances of 5 of their has been a very big help in this process, Logan.
Thanks, Brian. Well, before we tip off, a nice gesture here by the 2 teams, shaking hands, getting to know each other before we tip off. We'll get you the starting lineup for Maccabi USA. The backcourt is going to be Avi Fogel. We talked a lot about him. Matt Minoff will flank him in the backcourt. He's number 10 for Maccabi USA. Paul Vitelli will be in the front court alongside Conrad Adamczyk, and Eric Barvin, the tall 6'8" center, will round out Maccabi USA's starting 5. Evan, what are you most excited for about this game? It's the first game of the Masters division here from Yeshurun Hall. What are you looking forward to about today?
Just to see a great game of high-level basketball. We watched the 45-plus Masters earlier, and they put on quite a show for us, Argentina and Australia. But this is the cream of the crop when it comes to Masters basketball here at the Maccabiah. And I'm just excited to see these 2 teams set the tone for the rest of the tournament. Should be a great game, Logan.
Well, Gustavo Sandrini heads up the Argentinian squad. They're just excited to be here. We talked to one of their players, Aaron Rosenzweig, before the game. He said the mindset's just to have fun, compete, and enjoy the unique experience that is the Maccabiah. The starting lineup for Argentina as they take the court will be Martin Dorby in the backcourt, flanked by Jonathan Yeager. In the front court, number 23, Daniel Osakovic, and number 13, Alejandro Yankelevich. And finally, rounding out the starting lineup, number 12, Aaron Rosenzweig, who we just mentioned.
Yeah, and I think we can count on Rosenzweig getting a very good complement of minutes today against this very big U.S. team. Argentina does not have a lot of size, but what they do have is chemistry.
Rosenzweig and Minoff tip, and Team Maccabi USA controls, and we are underway. Minoff right side finds.
This is some of that ball movement that Coach Kahane told us about. They're really going to try and stretch the floor here against this smaller Argentina team and set up shots from the outside.
Flagel out to Fogel. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Fogel for 3. Off the rim, and Argentina brings it up.
Good start defensively for the Argentinians. The U.S. unable to really get to the dangerous areas of the court there. Argentina kept everything to the outside on that first possession.
Dorby finds. Try is off the mark by Yankelevich and rebounded by Minoff.
Little cautious start here for both teams. This first quarter we thought would be a feeling out process, and so far it has been. Not a lot of dangerous opportunities on either side.
Flagel looking to post up again. Finds his teammate in the corner for 3. That's Paul Vitelli. Gets the first points of the game for Maccabi USA.
And that's again what the U.S. is going to try and do here. Stretch the floor, set up open looks from the outside. Vitelli was wide open in the corner, lost his man, and made no mistake on the shot.
Yankelevich holding. Finds Dorby, left wing. Down in the baseline. That shot is no good. Offensive rebound and put back by Yankelevich. Gets Argentina on the board. USA looking to push.
That was a great job by Yankelevich on the other end to follow his own shot and get the rebound.
Flagel again easily gets around Osikovic for 2.
And there's that size advantage for the U.S. coming into play. They lost the battle at the other end. Yankelevich was able to get the rebound.
More posting, a beautiful move. Once again, Yankelevich, he has Argentina's first 4 points. Here's Minoff going one-on-one, finds Adamczyk for 3. Short. Fight for the board. Adamczyk gets his own board. Aggressive style of ball, and he is fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
Offensive rebounds at both ends there. Yankelevich follows up his own shot with a putback at one end for the Argentinians, and then Adamczyk follows up a miss with another offensive rebound, and it sets up the free throws.
Adamczyk, the Los Angeles, California native, played his high school ball at Pacific Hills High School. They won the state championship in 1998, but he'll go 0 for 2 as Argentina brings it up. That's Jonathan Yeager with the ball left wing. Drives inside against Adamczyk. Dorby penetrates, finds his teammate inside, but that's blocked by Flagel. Quick outlet to Vitelli, finds Adamczyk for the layup. And we've got a 7-4 score here in favor of the U.S. early on.
And here you can see the stylistic difference between the two teams offensively. Argentina's looking to cut and drive to the net, whereas the U.S. is trying to score from outside. And so far, that approach has been winning, Logan.
Dorby throws it away, out of bounds. Maccabi USA ball.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Argentina is going to really have to try and limit throughout the course of this game is the turnovers. You know USA is going to get their share of points. Argentina can't afford to give them free possessions.
And Minoff at 6'6", bringing up the ball for Team USA. He played his college ball at Yale alongside Maccabi USA teammate Paul Vitelli. Here's Fogel behind, over the head, out to Vitelli, who drills the 3 from straight on.
Quite a start here for Vitelli, but that was a real nice find from Fogel as Argentina calls timeout here.
Yeah, really good unselfish play here early on from the U.S. Looks like nobody really cares too much about who scores. We've really seen the ball been whipping around the offensive end, Evan.
Right, and one of the things we asked Coach Josh Kahane in our production meeting yesterday was how much leeway he was going to give to his players to use their creativity on offense. And he told us, we're not going to be the Harlem Globetrotters, we're not going to be a freewheeling team, but we are going to play within an offensive set, and as long as the guys stay within that structure, they can do whatever they want with the ball. And a little bit of improvisation there from Avi Fogel, a little behind-the-back pass, no look to Vitelli, who, again, drains it from 3.
Yeah, and like we said, a lot of these teams come into the Maccabi with not getting any training, very few times to practice together, but this team kind of stands out a little bit. Brian talked a little bit about it earlier down on the sidelines, but a lot of these guys have played even under Josh Kahane at the 2019 Pan Am Games. A whole handful of players won gold with Kahane. That team went 5-0, so lots of experience here, not just in college and professionally, but actually in the Maccabi and the other tournaments around the world.
Right, and that familiarity is certainly going to go a long way, especially in the opening stages of this tournament where every team is kind of starting from a blank slate, and so far it has made a bit of a difference here.
Well, just about halfway through the first quarter, 6:50 left in the opening period, 10-4 USA. Argentina has the ball, but quickly throws it away. Fogel comes up with the turnover, looking to push.
Yeah, just kind of lurking in the shadows there was Avi Fogel, and he snatched that right out of midair
Vitelli
to set up a chance at the other end.
In and out for 3. A nice pass there, and it's Yankelevich once again benefiting off the beautiful pass from Rosenzweig.
Yeah, the only Argentinian who's managed to find the net so far, Alejandro Yankelevich. All 6 points are his.
Clearly standing out as an interior threat for Argentina, but now Fogel posts up, and he draws the blocking foul, asserting himself down low, and he will try from the line for 2.
Yeah, and it's interesting how they've used Fogel so far. He's been playing on the wing rather than at the point position, which is where we thought he might be. But Josh Kahane said he's not afraid to move guys around a little bit as the game script allows him to do, and that seems to be what he's doing here with Fogel early in this game.
As we're going to get our first substitution here for Maccabi USA. Adamczyk going to go out, and Eric Barvin will come in from Houston, Texas. played his college ball at Emory. He's going to be down low on the right block for Maccabi USA as Fogel gets the second one to go. And another substitution for Argentina as Marcelo Svetliza enters the game.
Yeah, and all of Argentina's points have been hard-working buckets down low, so I think that's why Barvin's coming in to sort of close off that lane to the net with his big frame and long reach.
Dorby left wing. Yankelevich posting and toasting. Beautiful fall-away jumper.
Yeah, Yankelevich coming out of the gate strong here, and his team has needed it. USA has had the better looks, but Yankelevich with 8 points, and the lead is only 3 for the U.S. despite a clear advantage early on.
Flagel with a nice post move of his own makes it 13-8. USA just about 5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Dorby for 3. Off the back rim, no good, but the rebound comes all the way back out to Rosenzweig. Just 10 seconds on the shot clock now for Argentina. Dorby looking and throws it away.
Third turnover already for the Argentinians, and in what's been a pretty close game so far, you just can't afford to make those types of mistakes. That's been the difference so far.
Jonathan Berger checks in for Maccabi USA. Evan, we heard a lot of good things from Coach Josh Kahane about the Chicago, Illinois native Jonathan Berger.
Yes, Coach Kahane complimented his defensive ability and said, if there's a guy on the other side who's lighting us up, Berger's going to be glued to him. So look for him to match up against Yankelevich on the offensive end for Argentina.
Flagel looking. Finds Fogel. Fogel left wing 3. That's good. Avi Fogel gets on the board. But knocks down his first 3 of the game.
And there you see what he can do as a shot creator. They run an isolation with him, dribbles his way out of the check, and nails a 3.
Yankelevich left block shot is good, and he's got 10 points in this opening period.
Yeah, and it doesn't really seem to matter who they put on him. Yankelevich is going to find his way to the basket, and he gets a block there on the much taller Eric Barvin.
Argentina looking to push. Here's a 3 from the right wing. That's in and out. Offensive rebound, and Fogel blocks it out of bounds.
Yeah, we talked about the size advantage of the U.S., but so far it's the little guys getting it done. Fogel there with a block on the defensive end after he drained a 3 at the other side, and Yankelevich with all 10 points for Argentina.
Ezekiel Berlanti comes in, and he'll inbound for Argentina. That's Lucas Kablinski who's fouled, and he will shoot 2. 16-10 USA from Yeshurun Hall here in Netanya. The first game of the men's 35-plus division here in the 21st Maccabia as Kablinski hits the first free throw. Second one drops.
And one thing that might come into play, Logan, as this game moves along is the fact that Argentina has a much deeper bench than the USA, just in terms of manpower. Argentina has 6 guys on their bench. USA only has 4. So we'll see if the fatigue starts to play a role here as Fogel drains another 3.
Fogel 2 threes in the opening period. Yankelevich finds Kaplinski, who lost it out of bounds. Turnover for Argentina, and we talked about it. That's already the 4th or 5th turnover of this opening period for the blue and white.
Right, Logan, 4 by my count. And what's exceptional is that the game is still very close, despite those mistakes by the Argentinians. They've managed to find some chinks in the armor of the U.S. defense so far.
Berman left wing, looking for a teammate. He takes a long 3. That one's no good, but Kablinski gets the rebound.
And it's been tough sledding for the U.S. on the glass so far, which, as we mentioned, shouldn't be a problem given their size advantage. But Argentina's outcompeting them for these loose balls.
Fogel. That one no good. Rebound, Barvin. Fight for the rebound once again, and finally Berman comes away with it. 3 minutes left here in the first.
Way to battle by Barvin there to get the rebound, but he just can't follow it up.
Berman a little sloppy inside, throws that one away. Trying to go over the shoulder. didn't quite have a connection with an Argentinian teammate.
Right, just a case of trying to do too much there by Marcelo Berman. And, you know, it's still a close game. You don't have to make risky plays like that.
Berger finds Vitelli back out to Berger. Left wing Fogel gets a screen from Vitelli behind the back.
Way to keep that ball in balance by Vitelli. The long reach coming into play there.
Fogel cuts inside. The fadeaway from the paint is true. Avi Fogel making his presence known from behind the arc, inside, and at the line, doing it all.
Yeah, he's been really efficient shooting the ball so far. And when he gets into a rhythm, you better watch out because it's going to be tough to get him out of it as Argentina turns the ball over again. Number 6 already in the first quarter.
And we mentioned just a 9-man roster for Maccabi USA, but already everyone has entered the game as Eric Shapiro, the final sub, has the ball now.
Right, and Coach Kahane talked about the versatility of this team. The fouls called there against Walter Keiniger of Argentina. He talked about the versatility of this team and said that if there's a job you need done, somebody on this team can do it. And I think that's why we've seen everybody get at least a couple minutes here so far as Barvin hits a mid-range jumper off the glass.
High court press from Berger, but going to let Argentina bring it up. Svetlica looking, finding Kaplinski inside, and that's a really tough shot. It's no good. 90 seconds to go here in the first. Berger nearly lost it, but it finds its way to Fogel. That's a 3 for Avi Fogel. 3 for 3 from long range for number 12 here in the first.
Yeah, Fogel already in double digits. Looks like we were on point with our player to watch, Logan. He has been exceptional here in this first quarter as a foul there on Barvin as he knocks over Keiniger.
A little overzealous there from Barvin, who is the tallest member of Maccabi USA, standing at 6'8".
And he plays like it too. Very physical, dominating force down low. And he was able to force the miss by Argentina on that last possession. As here's a steal from Berger, 2-on-0 for the USA.
Berger missed the layup, but the rebound by Shapiro. Berger has it double teamed. Looks like the USA will reset as Shapiro drives, foul. He'll go to the line.
And Berger unable to finish that transition chance for the USA, but you saw the defensive instincts there. Jumped through that passing lane, stole the ball, and he was gone.
Shapiro, one of those guys who played under Josh Kahane in Mexico City back in 2019. Didn't make his high school basketball team until his senior year, so a little bit of a late bloomer, but you know Coach Kahane's happy to have him back here in Israel in 2022. Less than a minute to go now in the first. 28-12, USA's really grown the lead thanks to Avi Fogel.
And Argentina needs a response here. Finish the quarter strong, give yourself some momentum heading into the second.
Kaplinski is fouled by Oren Levy. And it was, as you mentioned, very close in the opening minutes, 11-8. We were talking about Alejandro Yankelevich, who had those first 8 points for Maccabi Argentina, but since then, he's been pretty much silenced. He's on the bench now, and USA has really benefited from not seeing him on the floor as Kaplinski misses a pair, fight for the ball, and it's going to be a held ball.
And possession will go to Argentina. But you're right, Logan. There's been a very noticeable difference from when Yankelevich has been on the floor to when he's been on the bench. And I think you can bet the house that he's going to start the second quarter for the Argentinians.
Svetlica inbounds to Berman. Finds Berlanti, pulls it out. Back to Svetlica, who missed the 3, but once again gets his own rebound.
And that's one of the things that Argentina has done well. They've had a ton of offensive rebounds here, but they haven't been able to follow them up with buckets is the problem, Logan.
Ball rolls out of bounds, just 2.9 on the shot clock, 23.5 on the game clock here in the first as Argentina looking to get a quick shot off the inbound. Berman not aware of the shot clock, it seems, and Argentina with the shot clock violation.
Yeah, the 24-second shot clock here has been an issue in the games that we've seen prior to this one in the other age brackets. And just a lack of awareness there by the Argentinians, and another costly turnover.
10 seconds left here in the first. Fogel isolating on Svetliza. 3 seconds. Fogel looking, shooting, and missing. But a still tremendous first quarter for Fogel and Maccabi USA. They put up 28 points in 10 minutes and lead this one by 16. Evan, pretty good first quarter. What are some of your thoughts here from Yeshurun Arena?
Well, it was a bit of a contentious start there. The first 4 or 5 minutes, the game was really, really hotly contested, but the USA was able to stick with it and pull away from the Argentinians thanks to their three-point shooting. You saw a very noticeable difference in strategies there between the Argentinians and the Americans. The Americans, as we mentioned before, trying to move the ball around, stretch the floor, set up shots from the outside. Argentina just trying to crash the net as hard as possible, getting all of their buckets from within about 5 feet of the basket. And they were successful at doing that through the first couple minutes, but once that dried up, they had no other way to score. And that, I think, is why the deficit has grown to as large an amount as it has here, Logan.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Maccabi Media's live stream of Men's 35 Plus Basketball. Are back here in Yeshurun Hall as Team Maccabi USA up 28-12 here as we begin the second quarter. Flagel posting down low against Kaplinski, and the nice fall-away baby jumper is through for Flagel.
And he's been really good with that mid-range jumper so far. Very efficient. Hasn't had a lot of shooting opportunities, but he's made the ones that he has had, and that efficiency's been key here for the U.S.
Dorby gets a pick from Rosenzweig. Finds Yeager left wing. Dorby driving inside. Kicks it back out for Rosenzweig. That one's no good. Dorby really fighting hard for the rebound, but Minoff comes away with it.
And that was a real nice possession for the Argentinians. Just no finish there.
Vitelli off the mark from deep. Good box out by Rosenzweig with the board. And there's a nice layup with the left hand from Marcelo Svetliza. Makes it 30-14 in favor of the U.S. Flagel, uncontested inside. Good start to the quarter by Jordan Flagel.
Yeah, he was able to take advantage of a mismatch there. Jonathan Yeager was guarding him, and there's a decisive difference in height there to Flagel's advantage. He makes no mistake on that shot.
Kaplinski finding Rosenzweig on the baseline. Back out to Dorby. That one's off the mark.
Argentina's had open looks from range here. They just haven't been able to convert on any of them, whereas the U.S. has.
Adamczyk really fighting for position down low with Yeager, who fouls him. Big height advantage down low for Adamczyk. Honestly, Yeager made the right call by just hacking him.
Yeah, and early in the second quarter, the U.S. has been able to exploit those size mismatches a lot more than they did in the first. Argentina was winning the offensive rebounding battle in the first quarter. Not so anymore.
Minoff going one-on-one against Svetliza. Backs him in, spins, and that's going to be a double dribble.
It might have been a triple dribble, Logan, by my count. I thought he picked up his dribble earlier in that drive, but in any case, a turnover for the U.S., a rarity so far in this game. They've done a good job taking care of the ball.
USA up by 18, 8 minutes to go in the second.
Svetliza's look won't go there, and that's the thing. When you're getting all these chances inside against a big team like the U.S., you're going to get shots blocked. You're going to have off-balance shots that don't go. You need to diversify your scoring a little bit, and Argentina just hasn't been able to hit from outside.
Minoff, the no-look pass to Vitelli in the corner, and there's that Yale University connection as Minoff and Vitelli team up, and Vitelli knocks down the corner three.
Yeah, Vitelli's been great as a catch-and-shoot guy so far for the U.S., and I got to say, I'm surprised Yankelevich is not in the game right now for the Argentinians. They need an answer here.
He's all the way at the right end of the bench, so perhaps an injury. We don't want to speculate, but he's been out for quite some time. As Flagel, that's going to go and one.
What a start to the second quarter here for Jordan Flagel. We saw those two mid-range buckets right off the hop. Nice fadeaways right through the bottom of the net, and now he gets a more hard-working look inside and draws the foul on top of it.
Yankelevich does re-enter the game for Argentina. They're going to need him.
Yeah, not a moment too soon. We thought he might start the second quarter. I guess they wanted to rest him up, but right now the deficit has grown exponentially, and they are going to need quite the surge here to get back in this game.
Dorby calling out a play for Argentina. Yankelevich from the right wing finds Dorby, driving on Flagel, and that one's rejected by Minoff. Adamczyk, 2-on-3 in the front court as some players finally get across the timeline.
Yeah, little friendly fire there from Minoff. He blocked the shot, but he also took out Flagel, his own man.
Minoff short from deep. Quick outlet to... And that one's no good by Osikovic. Now it's one-on-one. Vitelli finds Adamczyk, who could have gone up with it but threw it away. A lot of back and forth. Now as Yeager fires. No good.
And another missed three by the Argentinians. The U.S. maybe a little too unselfish on that breakaway. Maybe one too many passes there, and it ends up in a turnover instead of a bucket.
Well, it is only the first game, so still looking to find the chemistry amongst the five on the court. Vitelli gets the screen from Flagel, pulls from three. And that one is no good. Yankelevich looking to push, going one-on-one against Minoff. Good defense there from Minoff, and beautiful pass up front to Flagel, who cashes in from the fast break.
Yeah, and if Avi Fogel was the star of the first quarter, Jordan Flagel has certainly been the star of the second so far. Argentina just can't seem to find a way to stop him from scoring right now.
Yankelevich throws it away. Here's Flagel. Flagel one-on-one, fakes, and is fouled. Absolutely dominating the interior is Jordan Flagel, as he is going to go to the line. Well, we have a minute. This game is brought to you by our sponsor, 76 Capital. 76 Capital, shaping the future of sports. Also brought to you by Campus Apartments. The student experience is built here. And finally, Evolution Health Group. Evolution Health Group, we have evolved.
And you look at Jordan Flagel, obviously he's a very large player, well built, but he's got some really nice footwork for a guy his size, and he totally fooled Aaron Rosenzweig right there. Rosenzweig had no choice but to foul him.
Flagel played his college ball at Bowdoin, started 3 years, and as a senior, he led the team to the best record in school history. That was back in 2008. Maccabi USA up 40-14. Now 5 minutes and 17 seconds left in the second. Yankelevich from the baseline. That one does not go. Oren Levy gets the rebound.
And I think the Americans have figured out that Yankelevich is really the only scoring threat on this Argentina team, and they have really keyed in on him on this in the second quarter, Logan.
Inside pass, but Rosenzweig can't get it to go. A little bit of frustration as a couple missed layups and open jumpers for the Argentinian squad. Flagel for three now, and he has range. Jordan Flagel doing it all.
Completely taking over here in this second quarter, Logan, and if I'm the Argentinians, I'm gluing Aaron Rosenzweig to him right now. Rosenzweig, by far the best player on this Argentina squad. They need to lock up Jordan Flagel right now.
Yeah, there's just been way too much space for him pretty much everywhere he walks on the court. As that three is no good, but Dorby gets the rebound. Good pass by Yankelevich, finds his teammate Rosenzweig, who gets it to go.
Yeah, only the second bucket of the second quarter for the Argentinians, and a much-needed timeout called by Gustavo Sandrini.
Yeah, Evan, really absolute dominance by Flagel in this first quarter, and really no one who can match up with him. No one built quite, no one has shown the strength on the interior for Argentina, and he's just been toying.
Well, another thing is the U.S. has been really, really good at moving their players around the zone, which is something that Josh Kahane told us they would do. And as a result, Flagel's been able to lose his primary defender on a lot of these looks.
Yeah, Coach Kahane here in Israel, but as we've mentioned throughout the broadcast, he coached back in 2019 at the Pan Am Games. He's also played in plenty of Maccabias himself. This is his fourth Maccabi games, not all in Israel necessarily, but he's played in the Pan Am. He's played all around the world, and he's won quite a few medals of his own. He also lives back in Memphis with his 4 kids.
Right, and as we mentioned earlier, he knows a lot of these guys personally, but the fact that his trophy case is so chock full of metal can't hurt either, and it really seems like this team is in tune here early in this one.
And you can see they really love playing for Coach Kahane, who's trying to pump up the energy even with this big lead for Maccabi USA in the second.
And I love the intensity. It's easy to get lulled to sleep when you have a lead like this, but Kahane is making sure they keep the gas all the way up here. And some more bad news for Argentina. Avi Fogel's come back in the game.
Well, Flagel is out. Minoff, baseline jumper, gets that one.
And again, Daniel Isakovic had some good positioning there, but Minoff just much bigger, able to reach right over the top of his head and drain that one.
Rosenzweig puts it up, and that one is no good. That shouldn't have happened, so Argentina retains possession. There's a three. No good, and Vitelli comes away with it. Fogel brings it up right side. Good pass inside to Barvin, who's fouled.
And Fogel really hasn't had to dish the ball much in this game, but that was the second spectacular pass we've seen through the legs of a defender there, right to the heart of the lane, and Barvin unable to finish, but does draw the contact.
Barvin no good on the first free throw. Barvin, long history of playing in the Maccabia, won the 2001 Maccabia with Maccabi USA as a junior, as Vitelli knocks down the three. He was actually on that team with Avi Fogel, so that's over 20 years ago, and they're back in Israel.
And how about Paul Vitelli here? He has been unstoppable as a spot-up shooter, as another turnover there by the Argentinians leads to a fast break for Barvin.
Barvin lays it in. Yeah, we've just seen a really wide array of scoring capability on Maccabi USA, whether it be from deep with someone like Fogel or Vitelli, or down low with Minoff, Barvin, or Flagel. A lot of versatility makes them really dangerous.
Right, no freeloaders on this USA team, but as there's a blocked shot, but how many free opportunities in transition have we seen Argentina give them? That's why this game has gone off the rails. It's been the turnovers, as Levy unable to make a layup there.
Rosenzweig inside, good finish with the left hand, but still 50-16 with just about 2 minutes left in the opening half.
Right, they're averaging 9 points per quarter so far, and that's just not going to get it done against this high-flying USA team.
Rosenzweig fouls Barvin once again. Barvin will go to the line.
And if you're Rosenzweig, you got to be careful here. He is the last guy they need to get in foul trouble, as he seems to be the only line of defense against this much taller, much larger U.S. squad.
Some substitutions for the U.S. as Barvin gets the first one to go. Shapiro back in the game along with Ornlevia. Conrad Adamczyk in as well. Barvin, good from the line. Slotak finds Urman over to Berlanti. Inside, Rosenzweig out to Berlanti for three. No good.
Argentina still without a three-point made shot here.
Beautiful touch pass by Adamczyk, but Shapiro can't find the net with the air ball. That would have been a highlight reel play for Maccabi USA if he had got that one to go. Inside Rosenzweig, and he's asserted himself down low, getting a couple buckets to go.
Yeah, it looks like the desperation has really started to kick in for the Argentinians. You don't want to count them out yet. We still got over half a game to go, but they really need to turn it on here and have something positive going into the half.
Barvin tries, but can't convert the fadeaway as that one runs out of bounds. Nice effort there by Fogel, but it'll be Argentina basketball.
And if you're the U.S., one thing you can't get right now is complacent. You can't get lulled to sleep. You can't be making these soft plays like that one and letting Argentina back in this game. You got to really put the foot down here, and I'm sure that's what Josh Kahane is telling his players right now. 40
seconds to go from Yeshurun Arena, 52-20 in favor of Maccabi USA, as there's going to be a travel called on Lucas Kaplinski. And USA probably going to just try to get one quality look here with 30 seconds left. Fogel brings the ball up for the U.S.
And really, this has been about as good of a first half as you could have possibly asked for if you're Josh Kahane. Really clean game, not a lot of fouls, not a lot of mistakes, and highly efficient scoring from the Americans.
Adamczyk with a nice move. Puts the exclamation point here on the first half. 54-20. 5 seconds now. As that one is no good. Rebound put back up, but not in by Slotak. As the first half comes to a close, 54-20 here for Maccabi USA in the lead. Evan, that was pretty fun to watch.
It was if you're a USA fan, not so much if you're on the Argentina side, but very, very good first half for the Americans. As we mentioned, you really couldn't have asked for much more than that if you are Josh Kahane. The intensity was up through all 24 minutes of the first half. Highly efficient scoring, good ball movement, and no mistakes. So pretty good first half for the Americans.
Yeah, in the first quarter, it was the Avi Fogel show. Second quarter, Jordan Flegel show. Really different skill sets for those two players, but both of them had their way here early on. We are ready to send it down to courtside. Brian Barth has head coach Josh Kahane. Brian, you're down with coach. We'll throw it to you.
All right, we're here at the half. Coach, what's impressed you most? Up 54-20. It's been a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, I'm really proud of our guys. We're playing great. The two real focus points for the game were defensively. Wanted to make sure we stuck with them, that we switched on our pick and rolls. We didn't give these shooters a really good look. They have a lot of shooters on their team, but really switch on the pick and rolls, get above the pick and rolls so we can make sure we D'd up. I think we've done a great job on that. And then it's really finding the mismatches. You know, we're big and we're quick. Find the mismatch, make the right pass, run our offense. I think we've done that really well, and I think the score certainly reflects that.
And while you've been running your offense, Avi Fogler's obviously been getting it done, passing the ball, but also shooting from inside and outside. How important is that to your team in getting this dominance even this early in the game?
Yeah, Avi's been great. I mean, Avi and Matt and Paul, these are guys who have been here before. They're leaders on the team. They can play all different positions, but to have Avi really running the point, shooting, distributing, it opens things up for everybody. So I think Avi played a great first half.
And what are you looking to do? What are some of the goals for the second half?
Yeah, so the intensity. I mean, it's as you know, it's hot here in the gym, and it was a fight in the first half. Can we keep it up? Can we keep our stamina up? Can we keep pushing the ball and see how Argentina responds? I'd like to see us push and push and push, see if we can really blow this thing out. But as long as we can stay strong and keep our breath up, I think we'll be great in the second half.
All right, thanks. Good luck,
Thank
Coach.
Thanks so much, Coach Kahane. We're going to send it to break here for halftime. While we wait for the third quarter to begin, we got some packages from the Maccabi media team. Been working hard all across Israel over these last few weeks. Enjoy some content. We'll be back for the third in just a few minutes.
While most of the U.S. delegation prepared for opening ceremonies on Thursday morning, the U.S. U16 girls volleyball team was up bright and early, looking for a 2-0 start to pool play. But in their way was Argentina, searching for their first win of the tournament. With a group of young Israeli school children cheering them on, it was a strong start for the Americans, going up 6-0 in their set before Argentina fought back to make it a 2-point game 9-7. But then came the two advantages the U.S. had, size and power.
Because when the other teams don't have blockers, it makes it available for us to hit more so we can get more kills, yeah.
Hits from the front line and some excellent serving from the U.S. team gave them an easy first set win 25-10. But Argentina didn't give up, putting up strong starts in both the second and the third sets.
We're trying to make sure that we were staying aggressive and playing our game and not thinking about what's going on the other side. Obviously, they were very loud. They were clapping a lot. We were kind of just trying to stay in our game and not think about what's going on the other side.
But once again, the U.S. height would prove too much for Argentina, as the U.S. took set 2 25-7 before closing it out in the third set 25-11, closing the game on a 17-3 run.
It builds our momentum for the next games, and obviously Brazil and Israel are going to be some really hard matches, and I think it builds our momentum for the next few games.
The U.S. now heads into their tougher part of pool play. First off, a date with Brazil on Sunday. That game is set for 4 p.m. From Elan School Hall, Alex Burstein, Maccabi Media.
Every 4 years, the Maccabi Games unite people from all around the world. Some are meeting their teammates for the very first time, while on the other hand, many athletes already know a few familiar faces, some more than others. For the Shades, it's a family affair.
We're going to learn so much and experience so much. It's really kind of hard to put in words just at one time.
Many athletes traveling for the 21st Maccabi are riding solo. Not only are brothers Danny and Mark Shade fortunate enough to wrestle together, but alongside NCAA champ and 4-time All-American, Dan Shade, their father.
If he gets his hands on you, this guy's
we can practice together. We do, that's the thing that's kept me involved in it, is just being able to practice.
Danny's 5 years older than Mark, so even though they both wrestled at the University of Carolina, they just miss getting to call each other teammates.
This is the first time we've been on a team together?
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
Right,
I didn't realize that till right now.
The Shade family are newcomers to the Holy Land. Getting to embrace the beauty of Israel is one thing, but doing it with your family is something truly special.
Being able to experience the cultural part of it and the religious aspect of it all together, as well as with wrestling, makes it even that much more special and significant.
Training his boys through both wrestling and in life, Dan Shade continues to be a source of wealth and knowledge to the entire wrestling community.
So we'll just keep, training these kids, and pretty soon they'll be the coaches in a few years. But it's like handing down, the skill sets and kind of the mentality of it.
Even though this is the first official roster that says they play on the same team, the Shade family knows that they've always been playing on the same one.
It's more fulfilling for us to work together than working against each other. 1, 2, 3, USA!
Welcome back. Third quarter just underway here from Yeshurun Hall. Maccabi USA dominating this one 54-20. Jordan Flegel with 16 points in the first half. Avi Fogel had 12 of his own. Flegel with it now. Finds his teammate, but right back to Flegel, who throws up a little bit of an erratic shot there. And Argentina has it now.
Yeah, Logan, the story of the first half was if your last name starts with an F, you're scoring. Avi Fogel and Jordan Flegel, first and second respectively, on Team USA in scoring, as Fogel gets a rebound there off a miss.
Fogel pushing against Yeager. Cross-court pass to Vitelli. Extra pass, Flegel for three. No good.
And if you're the U.S., as said at halftime, don't let these games. And it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Kahane uses his Fogel. He might tinker with it if the game script. You can put the guys who maybe don't play a lot in. Get 8 3-point Argentinians and
here's Flegel. Adamczyk gets position inside against Yeager, but can convert inside.
And Argentina looks a lot better here coming out of the half, as there's an and one for Lucas Kaplinski.
Kaplinski with a beautiful finish going up and under. And you're right, Evan, there does seem to be a renewed sense of passion and energy
Looks
out
a lot
here for
better here
Argentina. We did see a relatively
coming out of
good
the
start
half, as there's an and one for Lucas Kaplinski.
Hit 3, 11-8, as Kaplinski can't get the three-point play.
You're right, Logan. The game was very close out of the starting blocks, but turnovers really did in the Argentinians in that first half. We'll see if they can take better care of the ball here and maybe get a little bit of a run going.
Minoff finds Vitelli from the left wing. No good. Offensive rebound. Flegel back up. No good. Flegel can't come down with it a second time. As Kaplinski finally has it over to Yankelevich.
Little game of hot potato there on both sides as Minoff throws it away at half court.
Dorby finds Kaplinski from the left block, gets it to go, and a quick timeout for Coach Josh Kahane, as he's not too pleased with the effort of his squad. A little bit sloppy, and Argentina coming out with lots of energy, and same with the crowd, bringing it for the Argentinian side.
And you would have expected that, really. I mean, Argentina was down by so much going into the half, but with this much time left, you're never out of it, and I'm sure that's what Gustavo Sandrini told his team. They seem fired up here, whereas the U.S. seems like they're in a little bit of a lull. We'll see if Coach Kahane can get them out of it at the other side of this timeout.
Yeah, and of course, it is just one game. Plenty of other games here in the Maccabi. I've also got Puerto Rico and Israel in this group with the U.S. and Argentina. U.S. will play those teams moving on here tomorrow against Puerto Rico and on Tuesday against Israel. Both 1 p.m. starts here from Netanya.
And you're right, Logan. I'm sure both teams are treating this first game as a little bit of a building block, but you want to get the best building block possible to build from on top of that. And in that regard, it's a very important game for both teams, even though there's not a medal at stake here today.
Argentina using some full court press here against the U.S., but they back off and allow Fogel to bring the ball across the timeline.
And if you're the U.S., you can really slow the game to a crawl here to protect that lead and make the seconds last as long as possible, as there's another turnover.
Dorby chasing after it, keeps it in bounds. He'll fake and find his teammate. No good.
And Argentina really needs to capitalize on those opportunities. 2 wide open threes.
As Fogel through the legs, but Flegel turns it away, raises his hand, says, my bad. That would have been another one for the highlight reel. Yeager inside. Over to Dorby for 3. Puts it in. That's 2 threes in the quarter for Martin Dorby.
And one thing that Coach Kahane mentioned the Americans did very well in the first half was staying with their assignments off of pick and rolls, and they have not done a good job of that so far in the third quarter. 2 open threes for Martin Dorby.
Minoff Gets inside, over the shoulder to Flegel, who's fouled again inside. Good connection there from Minoff to find his teammate.
And one thing about the U.S.'s play here to start the second half, it has been a little erratic, as you mentioned, Logan, but it's also been a little bit too rushed. You don't need to keep the pace up when you have a 27-point lead. If anything, you want to slow the game down as much as possible, eat away as much clock as you can, and it seems like the U.S. has been a little bit too impatient here, and as a result, they've turned the ball over quite a few times here to start the third.
It's definitely a tough balance to find between wanting to bring the intensity but also staying composed out there. Obviously, a lot of adrenaline out here in the first game of the Maccabi for these guys.
Right, and of course, it's such a hard switch to flip. You're going 100% in the first half, trying to build as big of a lead as possible, and then in the second, it can be tough to just sit back on that lead, and I think that's what the U.S. is starting to figure out here.
Fogel attacking and converting. Avi Fogel. 4 threes in this one. Plenty of points on the board.
And Argentina cannot get into the same lull with the turnovers that they did in the first half. That was a sloppy play there, and it leads to 2 points for the Americans.
Dorby over to Yankelevich, who can't get that one to go. Quick outlet to Vitelli. Now Minoff.
And Yankelevich was such a force in the first quarter, but he hasn't scored since.
That cross-court pass has been working today between Minoff and Vitelli.
Yeah, and Yankelevich was the primary defender there on Vitelli. A little slow getting over, allowed Vitelli to set his feet there.
Yankelevich tries from deep. 63-30 in favor of the U.S. As Flegel lost it, but it will stay with Maccabi USA. Some substitutions now for Argentina. Rosenzweig comes back in. Ezekiel Berlanti in the game, and number 54, Walter Koeniger, in as well. Minoff inbounding to Flegel from the right baseline. Rolls around and in. For Jordan Flegel, who's not afraid of playing here in Israel, he had a stint with Hapoel Jerusalem back in 2008-2009, also played in the Israel National League as well in 2009-2010. Rosenzweig over to Jaeger, who gets hacked by Berger.
And getting Martin Dorby off the floor is a huge victory for the United States. He was starting to heat up from 3, and with him out of the game, no real scoring threats out there for Argentina other than Rosenzweig, who looked like he was starting to heat up at the end of the first half.
Rosenzweig is fouled. Rosenzweig getting to the line. He's played semi-pro and on some professional teams when he was younger. Played basketball since he was 6 years old, he's told us before the game. So the first one is off the mark.
Yeah, and he's shown flashes of some really nice play here today, but you wonder if he's 100%. I noticed that he was getting his foot taped up at halftime on the Argentinian bench, so you wonder if maybe he's nursing a nagging injury. But nonetheless, he's been one of the more effective players on the Argentina side, and definitely one the U.S. should keep an eye on the rest of the way as Berger steps out of bounds there.
Again, a little bit lackluster there by Fogel, and Berger playing with it along the sideline, giving it right back to Argentina.
And right now, the Argentinian second unit has to really build on what the first unit started early in the quarter. So far, they haven't been able to do that.
Screen set by Rosenzweig, but
Isakovic with the turnover there. Costly.
And Shapiro gets bailed out there.
Yeah,
number 4, Ezekiel Berlanti, who commits the blocking foul.
Nearly gave it right back, but Berlanti a little bit too aggressive there in the corner. And it stays with the Americans.
Berger finds Shapiro. Shapiro driving, faking, and shooting. Can't get it in the basket as Argentina pushing, and there is a missed layup by Daniel Osakovic.
He wanted the foul call, didn't get it. Didn't love that shot selection from Shapiro at the other end. That shot was pretty well covered by Berlante and barely even hit the rim.
Barvin finds Fogel. That's a long two-pointer. That's off the mark. Turnover there by Argentina. 3 minutes to go in the third, 65-31. Fogel nearly turned it over again.
Ill-advised play there by Marcelo Berman to dive after that ball. Fogel had the last touch prior to that, and as a result of that mental error, again, the USA maintains possession on a play where they probably shouldn't have.
US has 16 to shoot. Shapiro throws it up and puts it in. Eric Shapiro gets on the board in the second half.
Another off-balance shot there from Shapiro, but that one goes in. So I guess he's got the green light to shoot those. He's 1 for 2.
Berlanti out to Kaniger. Finds Berman for 3. No good. Vitelli in the front court. Pulls from the left wing. No good.
One thing about Vitelli, he's great as a catch-and-shoot guy. He has not been able to really create his own shot or shoot off the dribble today. That's something he'll have to work on as this tournament moves along.
Kaniger holding. Finding his teammate Osakovic inside for 2.
Real nice step back there from Isakovic as this second unit from Argentina really desperately needs some points right now, and he's able to provide on that possession.
Berger brings it up, calling out a play for the second unit for Maccabi USA. Vitelli, the only starter on the floor at the moment.
So I guess Coach Kahane has gone with option B, get his bench players some more playing time and let them get some confidence as shot clock violation here on the United States, which Coach Kahane argues against very passionately over there on the bench. I guess he's under the impression that that ball might have hit the rim. From our vantage point, it didn't look like that was the case, and the refs agree.
Marcelo Berman going to tie his shoe over there in the corner. Coach Kahane talking it up with Avi Fogel, who we mentioned has years of professional experience here in Israel. Berman now over to Kenninger.
And we mentioned that Argentina has a manpower advantage in the sense that they have a deeper bench. But some of these bench players for Argentina have barely seen the floor today as Berger gets a steal, and he's off to the races.
And Coach Kahane loves that. High fives Berger, as that's exactly what we talked about earlier. The pick and the finish. As there's Shapiro with another steal. Shapiro all alone lays it in, and Maccabi USA just out-hustling Argentina at this point.
Yeah, almost a carbon copy of the previous turnover, which led to a fast break for Berger. Just some really careless passing here by the Argentinians on their breakouts. And that's 4 free points, essentially, for the Americans. But as I was saying, Logan, a couple of these Argentinians really haven't seen the floor a whole lot. You look at Ariel Erman, number 20. We haven't seen a whole lot of him. And Marcelo Berman, before this past substitution, really hadn't come in much either. So not really taking advantage of that depth so far in this game.
28 seconds to go. U.S. can hold for the final shot, so looking for a quality look here to close out the third. And that's going to be an offensive foul.
Attacked a little bit there, but Vitelli at 6'8", very large specimen, easy for him to knock people over, and he did just that to Keiniger.
Argentina will hold for the final shot. Daniel Osakovic with the ball now, finding Rosenzweig inside. Good two-man game there.
And a technical foul coming up again. He had some for the official. Thought there should have been a foul call to go along with that bucket, and it's a shame because it was a really nice drive to the basket. But it's in a technical free throw here for Paul Vitelli.
Vitelli out of Hoboken, New Jersey.
Vitelli no good on the free throw, but the U.S. will get possession here as well.
Just 3 seconds left. 3.3. Gonna look for a quick catch. A full lane court to Berger. Does not get it to go. No shot. And that is the end of the third quarter. Maccabi USA all over this one, has twice as many points, +1, 71-35. We are going to head to a quick break here between the third and fourth quarters. You're watching men's 35+ basketball from Netanya. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Yeshurun Hall, Logan Skijano, alongside Evan Oshowitz. Thanks so much for spending your morning, if you're back in the States, with us. We're going to throw it right down to our sideline reporter, Brian Barth, who has more on Avi Fogel. Brian?
Well, star player for the United States, Avi Fogler, has a lot in this game that has to do with basketball, but his passions actually lie elsewhere. Fogler this year retired from professional basketball to take flight. That's right. He is now a student pilot for American Airlines, fulfilling his lifelong dream to become a professional pilot, not a professional basketball player, Logan.
Well, we know he can play basketball at a very high level. Have to get in the plane with him, take a ride. Maybe he can fly us back home to the U.S., Evan. But he's been absolutely dominant today, and he's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, Logan, but he has truly been fantastic. And he hasn't really played as many minutes as we thought he might, given the score of the game so far. But he's been very efficient on offense, even has a couple of steals and a block to go with his multitude of points. So all around, great first game for Avi, and I would assume he's probably going to sit on the bench for the majority of this fourth quarter as the U.S. has a commanding lead over Argentina.
Well, on the court for Maccabi USA, it's Levy, Berger, Shapiro, Barvin, and Matt Minoff rounds out the five out there right now for the U.S. As Berman tries a three off the backboard and grabbed by Minoff.
And we saw a little bit of frustration starting to set in for the Argentinians at the end of that third quarter. Very unlikely they come back to win this game, but you just want to see your team finish strong if you're Gustavo Sandrini and have something to build on going into the next game, as there's a foul. A ball out of bounds.
4.6 on the shot clock. Berger to inbound. Finds Minoff for three from the corner. Short. Minoff, good hustle with the board, and he's fouled.
Yeah, a little bit of an overcommittal there by Rosenzweig, who had to dash out to the three-point line to get to Minoff, whose defender vacated the area, and leads to an easy offensive board for Minoff and eventually a foul.
Minoff gets the first one. Senior captain at Yale way back in the early 2000s. Showing he hasn't aged one bit with his fine play here today.
Yeah, and one thing that really stands out as we reach the closing stage of this game is how well conditioned both of these teams appear to be. You don't really see any fatigue on the American side or the Argentinian side right now. Both teams still giving it their all. You love to see it.
As there's a nice fall away from Osikovic as Berger racing up the court. Out to Shapiro, and Minoff will settle things down at the top of the key. Minoff, right side layup for Matt Minoff.
And he's just scoring at will right now, Logan. He took that one all by himself through about 4 Argentinian defenders and barely even got touched. Really good drive to the net by Minoff. Martin Dobry has it across to Osikovic, nails the 3. And Daniel Osikovic has really started to heat up in this second half. And Argentina needed that as they had very little in the way of offense in the first, as Minoff answers with a 3 of his own.
Well, let's maybe start a 3-point contest here in Yeshurun Hall as Minoff and Osikovic trade buckets from long range. There's another 3-point attempt. That one, no good by Osikovic. Good pass, but it's deflected and stolen by Argentina. 2 on 3, but a nice cut by Rosenzweig, exploiting the D and getting the layup.
And we've seen some of this secondary scoring for Argentina come alive in the second half, but a little bit too late. All 10 of their points in the first were scored by Alejandro Jankelevich. He's gone cold. Rosenzweig, Dobry, and Isaacovic have heated up, but unlikely that it's going to be enough for Argentina to crawl back into this contest.
And our star from the second quarter, Jordan Flegel, going to get back in there. As the U.S. will inbound from the baseline. 14 on the shot clock, but they don't need any of it as Barvin gets the layup off the inbound from Berger.
Bit of a blown coverage there by the Argentinians. Barvin, the tallest guy on the court, able to sneak right to the front of the net and makes no mistake on the wide open layup.
Rosenzweig driving, kicking, Dorby, no one near him for 3. That is good. Martin Dorby lined that one up and fired and hit.
Third made 3 of the game for Martin Dobry, who, as Josh Kahane mentioned, has a bit of a shot on him, and when he's gotten open, he's been able to hit from distance, but again, a little bit too little too late maybe for the Argentinians, as Minoff answers again, not to be outdone.
And it was a good job by Barvin clearing space for Minoff there on that possession.
And one thing we maybe underrate, Logan, is as Osikovic nails a contested layup there. This is the first game of the tournament. All of these teams relatively new playing together. As Flegel with a nice drive to the net there. The U.S., we mentioned their familiarity. Argentina really doesn't have that and got off to a little bit of a sloppy start. They've gotten a lot better as this game has gone along. So looks like maybe they're starting to develop some of that chemistry with each other here.
That's right, Evan. There's definitely been flashes of good play by the Argentinians. Not right there, however, as they turn it over.
Yeah, Ariel Ehrman took an unfortunate tumble there on his way to the basket. It looked like he just maybe tripped over his own shoe or caught a puddle of sweat there on the hardwood. But in any case, it is another turnover for the Argentinians as Avi Fogel has re-entered the game here for the USA.
84-47. 5:47 left in the fourth quarter. Maccabi USA with a strong opening game here in Netanya. Ball goes out of bounds. Will stay with the U.S. .14 seconds left on the shot clock. Berger to inbound. Finds Flegel right down low, and he'll lay it in.
And one guy who's very quietly had a massive impact on this game has been John Berger. He's played almost the entire second half so far, really made an impact on the defensive end and in transition, setting up opportunities for his teammates. Coach Kahane mentioned him as one of the sort of unsung heroes of this USA squad, and he has lived up to the hype in this game.
And you just see a lot of smiles down there on the court from Flegel, from Berger, really from everyone. They're loving being out here in Israel, back together again.
Hard not to be smiling when you're up 39 points, eh, Logan?
That is true as well, Evan. As Osikovic loses it, Levy, bodies all over the floor now, as finally Adamczyk comes away with it.
Very impressive that Levy was able to dig that ball out there. He had 3 Argentinians draped over him.
And a strong move by Fogel, navigating his way inside.
Yeah, sitting on the bench for about 20 minutes has not disrupted his rhythm at all.
So there's going to be a foul on the floor. And some substitutions now as Yankelevich comes back in for Argentina alongside Marcelo Svetliza and Jonathan Slatak. Slatak will inbound from the right sideline for Argentina. Holding close to a 5-second call, but finally gets it into Dorby, who calls out a play. Hard screen set there by his fellow countryman, Kaplinski, who navigates and finishes.
And you see a little bit of chemistry beginning to build here for the Argentinians. Really nice behind-the-back feed from Dobry, and an arguably even better finish by Kaplinski. They seem to be getting their things in order, but a little bit too late in this one. It will bode well for them down the road.
Flegel puts that one in. Four minutes to go. 90-49. Maccabi USA on top. Vogel now. Pulls up from 20 feet. That one's off the mark. Argentina pushing the other way.
And again, maybe a little bit of an overpass there on the 2-on-1. Looked like Svetliza had a lane, decided to dish it instead.
Great ball movement there. Fogel to Flegel to his fellow countryman who lays it in. Terrific ball movement by the U.S. Dorby, good pass, but Slatak cannot finish.
And again, Argentina able to claw some of these offensive rebounds away from the U.S. despite their lack of size. That tenacity is another positive takeaway from this game for the Argentinians in what has otherwise been a very trying afternoon.
And Conrad Adamczyk still fighting for every loose ball, every rebound. He is fouled and will shoot 2 for the United States.
Love those shoes that Adamczyk's rocking. The gold matches the dyed blonde hair very well. If we had a best footwear of the game, I think he might be our winner, Logan.
You can't miss him out there on the court, that is for sure. 3 minutes to go. Yankelevich over to Dorby. Fakes the 3 and drives inside. Finds Yankelevich. Another good move there from the big man who lays it in.
Yeah, that's his first point since the first quarter, Logan. And Argentina really could have used a little more consistency from him. He was unstoppable in the first, and the scoring really dried up in the second and third quarters.
Adamczyk fakes. Good pass to Oren Levy, but can't finish. Ball out of bounds, and looks like it's going to stay with Maccabi USA. This is the point in the game where you would probably empty your bench, but U.S. just with 4 subs, everyone has really been in on the action here today, Evan.
You wonder if maybe they're trying to get to the century mark here as Flegel adds 2 more for the Americans.
Just 5 points away from that, 95-51.
Jaeger back in the game for Argentina.
And a good contest there from Flegel. Making that shot go awry as Adamczyk all alone lays it in.
Yeah, Flegel and Vitelli on cleanup duty there as Jaeger had a little room to work with, but couldn't get it up over the Twin Towers for the USA.
Yankelevich inside. That one is good.
That's now 14 for him, and this Yankelevich is the definition of a rhythm scorer, Logan. He scored 10 points in the first in quick succession, went cold, and
may have walked there and missed the layup.
yeah, I was going to say he might have had 6 straight. Now he's got 4 on 3 shots, but nonetheless, very, very streaky scorer he appears to be, Alejandro Yankelevich.
Here he is once again, giving it up.
And a
to
foul's going to be called there on Paul Vitelli. Svetliza will go to the line.
Just over 1 minute to go. Svetliza at the line. First one is up and good. It's been a lot of fun, entertaining game, lots of action, fast pace here from Yeshurun Hall, but U.S. clearly showing they've outmatched their opponents here today, putting on a show from deep, from inside.
And although the U.S. never really left any doubt as to who was going to come away with the win, Argentina did look very good at certain points during this game. So there are definitely going to be some positives for them to build on as the tournament moves along. And after some of the lopsided results we saw in the juniors competition in Haifa a couple days ago, it's nice to see a game like this with a little bit of back and forth action, Logan.
Absolutely. There's been flashes for sure. A lot to work on here as Argentina will face the same 2 teams the U.S. does moving forward. Israel and Puerto Rico in this group, as we're going to get a quick timeout. And we're going to get a quick break here. We'll be right back. Closing stages of this one at Yeshurun Arena. Men's 35-plus basketball, United States against Argentina. 97-54, 56 seconds on the clock. Argentina starts with the basketball. Kaplinski finding Slotak, who can't lay it in. Saved all the way up to Flegel. Back to Adamczyk, who nearly threw it away, but Slotak could not save it.
Yeah, he got in the passing lane there, and just a little bit of butterfingers there, juggled it out of bounds, and the U.S. maintains possession again. We've seen that happen a few times. As Flegel draws the foul, Kaplinski, the guilty party for the Argentinians.
And Coach Gahane still calling out plays from the sideline. Lots to work on here still in the waning seconds of this one as Flegel has it at the line for 2. First one is good. Much to the excitement.
Yeah, you love to see the emotion from Jordan Flegel there in a game that the U.S. has been in control of for the better part of the afternoon. He's happy that he made that free throw.
Offensive rebound by Levy, who's fouled.
And again, it's Kaplinski who's going to get called for the foul. And a little smile on the face of head coach Josh Kahane as well, as his team is well on their way to starting off this tournament 1-0.
A little bit of rye there from Oren Levy. He has 2 kids, both under 2 years old. You're sure they're happy to watch Dad out here today?
Looked like his teammates were giving him a little bit of a hard time after that first miss, but he makes up for it with a steal there. Really good defensive play by Levy.
Fogel pulls. No good from deep. 20 seconds left here in this one as Yeager gives it up behind the back. And a good fast break finished off by Slotak. As Adamczyk hoists a 3, no good. 8 seconds now. And who other but Jordan Flegel to pull down the final board as the United States takes this one from Argentina by a final score of 98-56. Evan, we saw a lot of star players, a lot of great team basketball. Very entertaining opening game here from Yeshurun Hall.
Right, and obviously, since it is the opening game, this is going to be a starting point for both teams to build off of. Team USA looks like they are really, really prepared for this tournament, already looking like they're in form. Argentina, a little bit more raw, but still a lot of things to like here if you're Gustavo Sandrini and the Argentinian team.
We take a look at the schedule moving forward for Maccabi USA. They'll get Puerto Rico tomorrow, followed by Israel. Then you got the semifinals and the finals, and it's looking like the United States has a path to the finals for sure after a convincing win here to begin their quest for gold. All around, a great game by Avi Fogel. We saw him knock down a lot of threes. Also saw Jordan Flegel getting inside at will. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because we've got a player of the game. We'll see who that is when we come back. Welcome back. We've got our player of the game down with Brian Barth. Brian, 1 second as we're going to throw down once again to Brian Barth. He's with Avi Fogel.
I'm from New York. Okay. All right, we're here post-game with Avi Fogler. And Avi, for the 7 of the last 8 minutes, your shoe was untied, if I saw that correctly. Yeah. And the pace of the game... The pace of the game kind of picked up there at the end, but overall, what a great game. And what can you say about your entire team and your play?
I think we're a well-built team, right? My job out here is to kind of distribute, get everybody going, and to have the confidence to get going when I need to get going. So I have a lot of trust in these guys. I think Coach put a great team together, and it's just all the confidence in the world. There's no pressure with us, right? Everything's pretty easy. We all have a lot of faith in each other.
Also, we heard from your coach last night is that instead of being a professional basketball player, your dream is to become a professional pilot, and you are en route to becoming one as a student pilot at American Airlines. How did that come about, and tell me about that process, about switching from basketball to becoming a pilot?
Sure. So I played overseas for 13 years. Had a great career over here in Israel and in other places, and it was getting towards the end of my career, and I said, what do I want to do with my life? I said, I'm going to chase my dream of being a pilot. So I went through like a myriad of tests that they have, and I ended up passing all of them. They called me and said, hey, we have a spot in training for you in San Diego if you want to come. I looked at my wife and I said, we're moving to San Diego, and that was it. That was it.
All right, so here with the new San Diego native, Avi Fogler. Avi, thank you. What a great game. Logan, back up to you.
Thanks, guys. Evan, closing thoughts here from Yeshurun Hall. What can you tell us? Thanks.
Well, it was a great game of basketball, Logan, and if you're an American fan, you have to be excited about what's to come. They did not get to the 100 mark, 2 points off, but still a lot of things to look forward to if you're an American basketball fan here as this tournament moves along.
Well, and there is a lot more basketball to come here from Yeshurun Hall later today, 5 p.m. Israel time. the United States Women's Open team will be taking on Israel. We'll have that call. Alana Mutnik, Alex Bernstein will be on the call. You'll want to tune into that right here on MaccabiUSA.com. Check the link in our social media for that as well. For Evan Oshowitz and Brian Barth, I'm Logan Skijana. Thanks so much for tuning in. Final score, 98-56. Maccabi USA gets it done.